very personal point of view. Now, different perspectives, how different people look at things differently, very differently. And now okay, sorry, there was a pop-up. So I think I've kind of covered the meanings of perspective, which are likely to be used by founders. So I will now stop sharing my screen. All right. And now, now, which other words are similar to perspective? Which words are kind of sometimes mistaken for perspective is the word prospect, prospective. Perspective is spelled differently. Prospect is has a totally different meaning. So when we use the word perspective, we have to be very careful how we use it. And so now I will be watching carefully. I have a sheet here. I will be watching carefully how many of you have used the word in your speech today, in your speeches today. So I think the red sign is flashing, and I think I have to now come very regretfully to the end of my little talk.
Thank you, Deepa. I think today that we will learn how to use perspective. And I just want to remind you that today you must be very careful with your language perspective, because she's a language master, she's a grammarian. So she will point which language will use good points and also some suggestions for you. So round of applause for her. So next, we will have another facilitator. You know, sometimes we always speak and then we forgot to listen. But today you will also need to watch as well, watch the timing signal. Let us welcome our timer, Matthew Chan, to share how he will count our timing signal and share first today. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to meet the Toastmaster member and also the guests. Actually, I will showing 3 signs. When the time comes to left around the time, it will be green, and then yellow, and then red color. So just relax to enjoy the speaking, but also aware with my background color. When it is green, it means that you have sometimes to go forward your speed, but you have to move it faster. And then yellow, which means you will have smaller, lesser time. And then red, which means you will have the final stage to make your conclusion. So over to you. That's my reminders to you.
Thank you, Matthew. So today we will have a set of grammarian, also timer. So please pay attention to their signal, and then later they will have a report. So for me, I myself, I'm Wilson, your general effect of tonight. I will effect all the facilitators or speakers who haven't been effected today, and we'll have a session to share with all of you at the end. So back to you, our Toastmaster, Bharat.
Thank you, DTM Wilson, for getting the facilitators role introduced. These are all first-time Toastmasters and taking their roles first time. We all have been through this before, and we will appreciate and support the courage of the first-timers to come on stage to take their roles. So with this, we have another first-timer, our president, charter president designate, Eddie Wong. Now, Eddie Wong is an experienced ACAMS, Association of Certified Anti-Money Laundering Specialists. And he has been trying to get a group together of founders for last few years until he met us in the demo meeting at Cyberport in last year. And here he is. And let me tell you, he has been a pillar of support, trying to learn the ropes. And today he has taken the challenge to be the first one to give the icebreaker, no regrets, in this club. So the stage is all yours, Eddie, and a big high five to you.
Thank you so much. So hello, fellow members and distinguished guests. Being born in Hong Kong and growing up in New York, Queens, life is very similar to life here in Hong Kong. Being in a typical Asian immigrant family, mom and dad would work long hours. You know, we normally home without our parents, you know, similar to Hong Kong. We are home with family members, family friends, or grandparents, right? So, you know, our parents cannot take care of us. So exactly like Hong Kong, multiple generations are living under the same roof. So my journey begins in the US. Life was not easy. I did not speak the language, and I would get picked on because I was the new Chinese kid in class. With time, things changes. I adapted, I made friends. I avoided the Chinese gangs by going to a black high school. In a school of 500 kids, I was only one of 3 Chinese students in the whole entire school. I survived by helping other kids with their homework. In return, they gave me their friendship and protections so that, you know, the popular kids will kind of take care of me. I never regretted making that decision to go out of my way to a high school that's not typical for a Chinese immigrant family. It made me who I am. I learned from a multicultural background. I also learned to accept and strive in the difference of life. My parents never regretted picking up their lives here in Hong Kong and moved us to New York. They took the chance so that we could live a life of more diversity. From New York, out of necessity, my mom moved to Las Vegas after 9/11. I stayed behind with my dad in New York, but after a few more years, we all decided to leave and move to Vegas ourselves. Life in Vegas is very different. People's lives are short-lived. Since the Vegas slogans is what happened in Vegas stays in Vegas, people tend not to stay in Vegas for too long. So real friendship are hard to come by. But as in high school, I learned to adapt. I learned to do new things. I made new friends. Life is always properties in Macau. We bought properties in Zhuhai. We bought properties in Hong Kong. This long journey took me all the way back to the US. After figuring out our properties in Asia would never cash flow. Therefore, life is always a full circle. From being born in Hong Kong, growing up in New York, now I'm back in Hong Kong, but investing in US. Sometimes you need to take risks to scare yourself so you won't have any regrets. Have you ever think about your future? I constantly think about it. I think about my health. I think about my family. I think about my purpose. I constantly think about how to achieve this goal without compromising other areas of my life. Regrets. Regrets is one of the most common emotion of a dying person. According to this one very popular book that I read, the top 5 regrets of a dying by Bonnie Ware. Number 1, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life that others expected of me. Number 2, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Number 3, I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. Number 4, I wish I stay in touch with my friends. Number 5, I wish I let myself be happier. I hope today with my story, I share something about my background and a message of hope. The hope which you could use in your daily life to avoid a lifetime of regrets. Doing things in your life that is hard. It requires courage and efforts. These are elements we all possess. We just need to take the chance and leap. Your heart is one of the most powerful muscles in your body. Do what you love and enjoy life. Finally, I leave you with one quote by a famous actress named Lucille Ball. I rather regret on things that I've done than things I haven't done. So back to you, Toastmaster of the evening.
Hello, everyone. Eddie, it didn't look to me that you are a first-timer speaker today in Toastmasters. Well done, very well done. And you have started your walk, and to join you in your walk would be Prashad Shetty, your evaluator today, who will be giving your evaluation. He has already introduced himself in the earlier part of the meeting. Now, friends, fellow Toastmasters, we have a distinguished Toastmaster from India. He is none other than Rupinder Singh, who has been the semi-finalist in the 2018 International World Championship of Speaking. He is here today because he's contesting again, and he's here to practice his current speech. His evaluator today is our district Division K, all three contest winner, Chia. Can I spotlight both Rupinder and Chia together? Zoom Master, can you do that? And Mr. Rupinder Singh also, please.
Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, please. So everyone, I have shared a link, and our distinguished guest, Rupinder Singh, has requested everyone to give their perspective on his speech in the link given on the chat. Please have a look there. So over to you, Rupinder Singh ji. Just 1 minute, please. Sorry. So he has also requested that we make the settings same, the environment same as the contest would be. So let us all close our videos, which is the international settings. Only the timer remains on video. All other videos, kindly switch off the videos to give him the similar feeling on the international contest stage.
May I also request that the timer be spotlighted?
Yes, the timer is going to be spotlighted soon. So we are all, okay. DTM Rupinder Singh. This is not that story. This is not that story, Rupinder Singh.
You are absolutely correct. This is not that story. This is the story of Red. Red, when he was 10 years old, was asked to sing a song to his school in front of 500 people. Red chose to sing his favorite song from the movie The Sound of Music. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens. At first, Red thought that the crowd was looking at him in appreciation. Very soon, he realized that this was contempt. Why would you sing a 1960s song today? You lunatic, get off the stage, never come back again. Red ran off the stage, never came back again. But the name lunatic came to stick with him for the rest of his school life. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, in case you're wondering, I am not Red, and this is not that story. Because in that story, Red went to college, eager to put that name lunatic behind him. And he soon got his chance in an inter-college debate contest featuring the 25 best colleges in the region. Red was selected to represent his college. Also selected as a backup contestant was Anita. Now, Anita was the daughter of a professor. The professor wanted his daughter to represent the college, so he politely asked Red to step down. Red, who had faced rejection all his life, politely refused. The professor had his way, though. He entered both Anita and Red together, with Red going in as an honorary contestant. Even if Red won, it would have no effect on the final result. But guess what happened? Red actually won. Anita did not even qualify. And as Red stood on the stage, accepting the accolades of the audience, he could not help but notice his professor looking at him. At first, he thought it was appreciation. Very soon he realized that it was contempt. You, sir, you truly are a lunatic. Lunatic. I told you not to participate. You would not listen. You will never, ever participate in this college again. Red never, ever participated in that college again. As far as leaving the name lunatic behind was concerned, let's just say it became more of a legacy. I'm still not Red. And this is not that story, because in that story, Red became a father, holding his newborn son in his hand. He said, son, I know you will be called the son of a lunatic for the rest of your life. I hope you will forgive me for that. I hope that you will think better of me. And I hope that one day you will say that you're proud of me. I am not Red. And this is not that story. Because in that story, Red went on to join Toastmasters. And here he found an environment where no one called him a lunatic. Instead, they told him how to get things right. Riding that wave of support and encouragement, Red found himself in the finals of the district speech contest. This is it, he thought. This is where I leave the name lunatic behind me. And then tragedy struck. 2 days before his contest, Red broke his leg, and thereby his speech. His stories were no longer having an impact. His jokes were falling flat, and Red himself was woefully out of form. The morning of the contest, Red was a despondent figure. As he looked back upon his life, he realized that the stage always seemed to have some sort of a grudge against him, and he wondered why. And he looked up and he asked, why me? And almost as if an answer, his phone rang. It was his son. Hey, Dad, heard about you, heard about your injuries. Sorry about that. But you know what? You're the most resilient person I know. You were called the lunatic for the most of your life, but here you are among the 10 best speakers in the district. And today, no matter what happens, nothing or no one is going to take that away from you. Get back on that stage, Dad. You owe the stage a fight. You owe the audience a speech. And one more thing, Dad. No matter what happens today, I will always, always, always be proud of you. It was on a dose of those words and a lot of painkillers that Red took the stage. And magic happened. At first, Red thought that the crowd was looking at him in contempt. But no, these were the smiles of appreciation. Very soon, his story started having an impact because the audience was clapping along with them. The jokes were not falling flat because the audience was laughing at them. This was not the speech of a person in pain. This was a speech of a champion getting back in form. And when Red finished, he was so excited. He was so excited that he jumped off the stage. And then he realized he had a broken leg. Ouch! I am not Red. Not anymore. Yes, I was Red. With rage every time somebody called me a lunatic. And yes, I was called a lunatic all my life. And I am standing here before you to tell you this, that the story of your life may not have had the beginning you wanted, but how it ends is very much in your hands. Today, I want you to promise yourself that no matter what happens, even if people call you a lunatic, you will never, ever let go of the story that you want for your life. Because I can tell you, with my experience, that one of two things is going to happen. Either you will succeed and you will write an entirely new success story, or you will pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and tell yourself 5 words. What are those 5 words? I want you to repeat after me. This is not that story. Can't share.
Yes, this is not that story. And you, Rupinder Singh ji, have another lunatic standing right in front of you, fighting for getting this club charter for last 6 months. And every time I feel down, every time I feel my leg is broken, I will sing the favorite song. Raindrops on roses and winkers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens. Sound of Music. This has been my favorite movie too. So moving on, let us move to our next item on the agenda. Oh my God. Here. So before we move on, I will like to tell everyone, kindly open your hearts and give your perspective. There is a link on the chat window. We want to give as much as feedback to our DTM Rupinder Singh so that he can conquer his next journey in his contest. Please, 1 minute of silence and you can all give the feedback on the link given. Timer, will you update me once the time is over? Okay, the 1 minute is up. So best of luck, DTM Rupinder Singh. And now we move on to another two-time DTM, our very own Julie Lee from Hong Kong. She is going to be the table topic master today. Over to you, Julie, for your taking this session forward.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. Can everybody hear me? Do I get a thumbs up if you can hear me? Thank you. Table topic session. Love it or live it. I am not a big fan of table topics, but a lot of people thrive on it. Let me tell you first what is a table topics for those who are first timers. It is an avenue for us to be able to practice our impromptu speaking. We are given a minute. The minimum time for table topics is 1 minute, where you will see green light. 1.5 minutes for yellow. That means you're ready to wrap up your speech. And when you see the red flag, that is 2 minutes. You have a maximum of 30 seconds to finish your speech. Now, to put this in proper perspective, let us imagine that we are in a lift and we met someone who's very important and he asked you a question and you need to answer that question. Now, remember, at 2 minutes, this person is getting off the lift and walking out that door at 2 minutes and 30. So you don't want to exceed that time and be able to explain yourself. I will be expecting the usual speech structure in your answers, which is what we call BBC. There is a beginning, a body, and a conclusion. And for today's theme, which is first steps, my questions will be simple 2-word questions. We are going to start with someone for an example. So to lead today's table topics session, our first speaker, I want to call on Cohen. Please unmute yourself.
Yes, here I am.
Cohen, your question is first speech. First speech, Cohen.
There I was, standing in front of the stage, in front of a bunch of very weird people that wanted to listen me to speak. Yes, that was me doing my first table topics when I was asked or volunteered to speak more than 16 years ago at my first club that I joined. I still remember that exact moment that I walked up, I turned around, and I looked at this bunch of people, like 40 pairs of eyes looking at me. And the title was given to me just like Julie gave me the title. And then I froze. And I froze exactly, this was after that someone told me that I did not speak for 30 seconds. But time just slowed down. Time just stopped. That was my speech. I knew that I started, even though I don't have hair, but the sweat just trickled down onto my shirt. But just as Rupinder said, Toastmasters are always very encouraging. The 40 pairs of eyes, the 40 mouths starts to smile and then say, yes, you can do it. And people start to clap. People start to give me suggestions on how to start my topic. And that was the first experience of my first speech. It was uncomfortable, but at the end of the meeting, when someone came up to me and said, wow, that was a great speech, although you could have delivered it better, but that was great. Because you made your first step into speaking. And I'm sure you will go a very long way. And yes, I did. I did go a very long way. 16 years as a Toastmaster. And I continue to learn today. For all the new members in our club and all the guests from other clubs, start your journey. Begin your journey. But don't stop. Continue your journey forwards. For every day, you can continue to learn. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Cohen. And that is the beauty of a speech. It brings you back to 16 years, just like it happened just yesterday with 40 pairs of eyes watching. Mr. Timer, can I please review with you? So we are going to put green at 1 minute. Can I please have a green? Matthew? A green. Okay, and a yellow at 1.5 minutes. Can I have a yellow, please? Yes, and a red at 2 minutes. Thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, that will be our timing going forward. Let's now call on our next table topic speaker. I would like to call on one of the guests. Choco Yu, are you in? I see that you are muted. Choco?
Hello,
Okay.
nice to meet you.
Hi, Choco. This is your table topics question. First teacher. First teacher, Choco Yu.
Would you like to make your video visible, please?
I'm sorry, my laptop camera somehow didn't work. That is why I couldn't turn on my camera.
That's fine. Okay. So did you hear my question, Choco?
Can you please repeat again?
First teacher. First teacher, Choco Yu.
So do I have to start with the first teacher, or is it about the topic teacher?
About the topic, first teacher. You talk about your first teacher.
Okay. So my first teacher is actually a foreigner from England. Back in the days when I was in primary school, I was in Hong Kong, and my primary school is a very like normal primary school with the aim for us as a child to have fun and have leisure. I have so much trouble with my academics, and that is where I met my first mentor. He is not only a teacher but a mentor who taught me about the values, how to stay positive, and also how to make life kind. And I still remember like how she taught me is not like the very regular like student academic focused teachers, but really on how to embrace your interests and how to develop as an all-rounded students. And that is how I met my first teacher. She stayed with me until I actually went to university. Is totally my mentor, and whenever I encounter any problems during my academic life or even my social life, she's always there for me. So this is my most like memorable teachers in my life.
Thank you very much, Choco. That was great. So Choco remembers her first teacher as a mentor as well. Choco, are you a member of Toastmasters at all?
I'm actually the first time to join Toastmaster. Earlier today, I went to the Asia CEO community event, and that is where I was invited to this event. It's very interesting, and it's a pleasure to meet you all.
Okay, all right. Thank you. The reason why I asked is because in Toastmasters, you talk about your teacher as your mentor. In Toastmasters, if you join this club, you will be assigned a mentor. We now go to our third question. And I would like to call on another one of our guests to answer the third question, to talk on the third topic. And may we call on Serinda Bomik. Did I pronounce your name right?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely correct. Only thing is, may I request the host to start my video since I'm unable to use it from here.
Okay, before I give the question, Mr. Zoom Master, can you please start the video for Surindra? Cohen, is that you or Bharat or both of you?
That's right. Now I got it, I guess.
Fantastic. Okay, Surindra.
Yep.
Your question is first meeting. First meeting, Surindra Bomik.
Thank you, Madam Table Topic. My first meeting, as I recollect, was something like about 40 years back, or maybe a little more. I had just finished my engineering and I was waiting for my results. And I was traveling from North India to the central part of India, which is from Delhi to a place called Bhopal. And on the train, there was this young gentleman in a suit who was sitting next to me and reading a Alistair MacLean novel. I kept looking at him, and as the train hustled on at high speed, he continuously asked for coffee. And on the third attempt, he also told me to have a cup of coffee with him. And that was like an icebreaker. That happened to be my life's first meeting. He asked me what I was doing, and I said, I'm a chemical engineer waiting for my results to come out. And then he asked me, are you interested in paints which go into painting of ships? Being a chemical engineer, I knew about polymers, I knew about alkenes, I spoke to him about it. And then we kept talking. And then he said, if I offered you a job in Copenhagen, will you be coming over? I had nothing to lose. I had just given my examinations, and this was in those days when there were no placements in colleges. And then he just passed me his visiting card, and he said, why don't you come over to Delhi after about 5 days, and I can talk to you further about it. I told him, I've just got back after my examinations, and I'm now looking for at least spending some time with my parents. He said, fair enough. And after 15 days, I was in Delhi, and I met him. And what did he tell me? Young man, you're selected to come and join our company in Copenhagen. And that was my first meeting, a meeting I will never forget. And every meeting I go to, I wish I get the same success. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster, table topic master of the day. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you very much. And indeed, unexpected meetings happen in unexpected places. This one started on a train and it was very memorable. Before we proceed to our fourth speaker, can I please check with our Toastmaster or our timer how much time we have? Have we got enough time for a fourth and fifth table topics? You need to unmute yourself. I need to know my time.
We are over time already.
Okay, so we have 3 speakers. That then concludes our table topics session for the evening. Thank you very much. And back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
So this is what first steps is all about. We struggle. You remember your children? What happened? The most innocent thing you have ever witnessed is your child falling. He will not complain. My shoe is broken. He will not complain. The floor is bad. He will get up and he will start walking again. So we are all struggling as our first steps, but we will surely get up without complaining and move on. So with this, I pass the stage to our president to welcome all the guests and have a brief introduction for them.
Hi, so yes, thank you, Bharat, for passing the stage to me. So yeah, I welcome everybody. I try to talk to everybody on the chat directly, but yes, please, tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you actually come to this? Because I know Bharat done a great job in introducing our club to everybody, and he's been inviting everybody, every chance that he has. So thank you, Bharat, for that. So, is there anybody that, don't know about Toastmaster, is completely brand new to Toastmaster? We would love to introduce, our ideas to you, and, we got so many experienced individual on here. Rupinder, you've done such a great job. It's so animated, your speech. Thank you for showing us. But yeah, is there anybody that would like to introduce themselves a little bit and tell us a little bit about yourself? Anybody want to volunteer to kind of introduce yourself a little bit? One of the guests? Great. Yes, please. Please unmute yourself.
Hi, everyone, and greetings from Dubai. I am a Toastmaster for the last 10 years, and I'm a very passionate Toastmaster. Honestly, with Toastmasters, I'm only getting better and learning much more. And today is the first time I'm on an international forum platform due to the invitation extended by Toastmaster Bharat. In fact, I was very excited to come here and fortunately for me, he's given me the role of an evaluator. So it's going to be again a first time for me to evaluate an international speaker from Hong Kong. So I'm looking forward to this opportunity. And honestly, if I can ever get a chance again to take the flight and come to Hong Kong, the first step I'm going to do is to go to Founders Toastmaster and probably do a speech and get a real perspective about how Founders Toastmasters perform. I'm really glad to be with a bunch of so excited, committed, and definitely enterprising Toastmasters. And I'm sure Founders Toastmaster has a long way to go. Today is just your first step, and I know I'll be with you for the next probably 100, 200, 500 steps together. And we will be there to celebrate such milestones ever again, whenever there is a meeting of Founders Toastmasters. Over to you, President.
Thank you for your support. This is great, you know, to have your enthusiasm to kind of support us in this. So, you know, I know you're evaluating my first step also. So thank you so much for that. Is there anybody? Cho, you know, I think I messaged you and you were invited by Bernice. So do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Cho Yu Chen. I am in Hong Kong. Yeah, you wouldn't say so, but I'm from the Netherlands, of course, with Asian roots. After 31 years of the Netherlands, I went to Shanghai and I lived there for 10 plus years. And since 4 years, I'm in Hong Kong now. My background, I'm trained as a lawyer, but I don't like to identify myself as a lawyer anymore because that's too limiting. And also in Hong Kong, I found that a bit of an profession that I don't feel very comfortable with. So I rather call myself consultant. And since last year I have a podcast show, so my favorite title is actually podcast host or a key opinion leader wannabe. Yeah, so I have a consultancy business together with 2 business partners. And we basically help Western companies to do business in Asia. It is my first time ever to join Toastmasters, and I'm really getting familiar with the way that you're doing things, and it's fascinating, the whole system and evaluation and titles, and so I'm learning. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you for joining us. Yes, we would definitely be in contact. So back to you, Toastmaster of the Day. Thank you.
Thank you once again, President Designate Eddie. So thrilled, Prashadji, you have given us a chill through our bodies that yes, we have Jim here, we have Naveen here, Wilson here, all Surendraji here. Then we have all special Toastmaster, experienced Toastmaster, Chi here, Julie here. So thank you so much for your support. And moving on, let us move to the evaluation section. And the first evaluation will be done by Prashad for Eddie. Over to you, Prashad, with a high five.
Hi. Good evening, all of you out there in Hong Kong. I'd rather regret all the things that I've done rather than regret on the things that I've not done. What a profound closing statement by our icebreaker speaker, the Chartered President, Eddie Wong. Amazing speech. I loved your confidence, the way you presented your speech. Some good points in the speech, which I really like to recommend, is the confidence you project on the screen. You come across as a tough, strong, very, very articulated person, number one. Number two, you resonated your wheel of life very well from the time you were born in Hong Kong to the time now we have come to Macau, and the way you started learning in school, being among the very few Chinese in school. So you had a very clear purpose in your life. And that was very well reflected in your speech. Your speech was inspirational. You had a clear target of how you should motivate the Toastmasters around with your ice-breaking speech. You had good command in your language. Your voice was crisp and clear, and we could understand each and every word very well. I loved the structure in your speech also. Even though being an icebreaker, you had a proper opening, transited to a very engaging body, and ended up with a very strong conclusion with a strong takeaway message where you highlighted the important 5 values of life, which is have the courage to be yourself, to work hard, to express freely, to be among friends, and to be happy in life. I mean, who else can have summed it up so well other than you being the president of the club? So hats off for really showing the theme of the club that this club is all about happiness. Some points of improvement, I would suggest that whenever you speak, please stand up and speak, because your hand gestures, your body is much visible, and you come across as a person who wants to also communicate through the non-verbal language of body movements. Second, use the stage well. You have a screen space, so automatically you can basically emphasize some words and come forward towards the screen to show the importance of those words or those sentences. But frankly, this is just an icebreaker. You have a long way to go ahead. Like I said, this is your first baby step, and you have to start a 1,000-mile journey with a single step. So hats off. In summary, great voice, good structure of your speech, brilliantly communicated, very confident. Some points of improvement is stand up, use the stage, and also have hand gestures and body language. Over to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
I'm standing up. And I'm looking forward to Andy stand up next time and speak. So what we are waiting for now is the star evaluation for today by our star evaluator, the district champion, the division champion for all 3. Table topics. Don't worry, Chi, I have said something, it will come true very soon. You will be the district champion also. Yes. So he's our district. Yes, go for it. So he's our division champion for the table topics, for the international speech, and for the evaluation also. So he is going to evaluate and work together with Rupinder in his contest journey. Over to you, Chi.
Thank you. So Rupinder, as a perspective of a contestant, I would be afraid of you for the reason that you've used the stage so dynamically, both breadth and depth. You continuously used a punchline to make sure you drove that message into our minds, and you gave us vivid stories, not 1, not 2, but 3.5 of them. Now, from the perspective of a judge, I would rate you top 3. Now, what opportunities lie to make you my number 1 as a judge? I begin with the essence and the key thing in mind, emotion. You injected so many characters that there was an opportunity to do more, and that's just exaggerate the characters. For your son, as an example, you could have used the following tone: "Dad, way to go." And for the professor, "I don't think you're a lunatic." Well, I think you're a lunatic. My takeaway here is exaggerate the voice, because this will inject an opportunity of humor, and this will enable the audience to remember you way after your speech even more. Following that is the content. You had so many vivid stories, but one story which jumps out is the second one about the professor and Kita and Red. I found it a little difficult to digest. I had to listen in a bit because I felt it was a little wordy. When you talked about your daughter and her being the daughter of the professor, just the professor's daughter. Make it shorter and punchier, and it will be easier for the audience to digest the second story. Now for the ending, The message that popped out to me was when you mentioned, no matter what, never let go of the story. When you said that, you then continued a bit further on to embellish the ending. And then you ended with your punchline, this is not my story. Now, because this line resonated with me the most, I would advise to move that towards the end a bit more, whereby you could say, no matter what, never let go of the story ahead, because that is not your story. Because I think what you're trying to tell us here, don't let the past jade your future. So just rejigging and reordering a little. With that, I think as a judge, you're certainly my top 3. Remember the emotion, exaggerate the role play, the content, the middle story, make it less wordy for us to digest easier. And finally, for the end, rejig that sentence, no matter what, never let go, ... And I think you will be everyone's number 1 contestant. Oops, sorry.
So for me, I wish both of you are there together fighting each other in the finals somewhere. So best of luck to both of you, the evaluatee and the evaluator. Moving forward, we have another special session planned for Rupinder today. Our Division Director, Distinguished Toastmaster, Cohen would lead. He will be moderating a session for open evaluation for Rupinder. High five and over to you, Toastmaster Cohen.
Hi. So, Zoom Master, can you highlight Rupinder, please? Spotlight Rupinder. So this session, as there are lots of guests right now, you might be wondering why there's an open evaluation. So what we're trying to do here is because Rupinder is practicing his speech. So he would like to have as many feedback or opinions as much as he can. In a normal Toastmaster setting, you have a speaker and just one evaluator. But in a contest situation, especially a very experienced Toastmaster like Rupinder, he would like to hear as many viewpoints as possible so that he can improve his speech. So the rules works like this. We have about 5 minutes, maybe 4 minutes plus. If you have any points of suggestion, just throw in. I think as a experienced Toastmaster, perhaps Rupinder would like to have the areas for improvement more. Okay, so this is open to the floor. Anyone can just jump in. The floor is yours. Zoom Master, ask everyone to unmute.
Just want to add, Rupinder, I've never spent so much time evaluating a speech. to pick us, there's so good I had to really think it. So.
Rupinder, it's amazing speech. Like you definitely showed us how a international stage speak works. So, you used the stage, which I didn't, right? You done so well in that. And it was so animated, right? And that's what I liked about your speech. You were so animated. So I don't know how Chia, you even picked up some of these points, right? Because I didn't see any of it. I just saw your animation. So I loved it. It was great. So thank you for showing us.
Thank you. Thank you.
I had to watch it twice.
Hi, Rupinder.
Hello.
Okay, I'll be very brief to give others a chance. So one of the things that I love about your speech was the great use of frame. I like the transition and the words are well pronounced. May I know what level you are going to compete next?
Like Chi, I'm also a division finalist. My district semi-finals are on May 1st, 8:30 Indian time.
Okay, all right. So you are competing to the district level first. So I will be very picky because you're already going to the district level. One of the things that I noticed was the background. I will I was expecting something clear and crisp that's not going to compete with your movements and with what the judges are seeing. And then the last thing that I would like to point out, I like the facing because it is fast, it's great, and it's got lots of energy. What I would suggest though is to have a slow moment so that I can see your transition from very loud and fast to something slow that will capture the attention of your audience. So just those suggestions. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Julie. Next, please.
Rupinder, this is Prasad Shetty over here. Everything was in place. I loved the entire content of your speech. But I just have one suggestion, and it's very personal. I just felt the title of the speech was a little bit not easy for me to understand till I heard the evaluator speak about what the actual meaning of the title of the speech was. This is not my story. So I would suggest, if I was in your place, probably have a simpler title. So of course, it shouldn't be so simple that the audience reads the story earlier on, but at least somewhere in the middle, people or the audience tries to relate with the story. So even till the end, I wasn't not so clear, but luckily for me, the evaluator came and in fact, cleared the doubt very well. Number two, I feel that somewhere along you come across as a very serious person. So probably just feel light, okay? Obviously, you had some role plays to do, okay? But yeah, if you can just be a little lighter on the screen, that will really connect with all the audience. That's my opinion. It's only a personal perspective.
Thank you, Prasad. Next, please.
Hi, Rupinder. I kind of lost the plot when the professor's daughter came. So I was a bit confused. Till then I was able to follow your, I was able to understand the narrative. Yeah, that's it. So maybe, just as I think somebody else, I think Chi pointed out, maybe make it a little simpler at that point. Because your speech is fairly layered, and it's got these three separate anecdotes. So for somebody who's listening to kind of understand that too in a short time span might be a little difficult. Yeah, that's it. Over to you, Kun.
Thank you very much. 5 minutes is short, but it's up. Thank you very much. I hope, Rupinder, you get some feedback from our guests. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, everyone, for helping Rupinder there. And anyone still wants to give any feedback, the link is there in the chat. I will put it again in a few minutes there. So moving on, let us welcome Area K4 Director, Amy Wong, to give us an evaluation on the table topics. Amy Wong, please.
Yes. Hi,
bye. Hi.
So congratulations to all. This is a very amazing table topic session, and especially the host, Julie. You're amazing. You always give all the people like our meeting energy, and also your passion is already like just going in this meeting room. And whenever you lead the table topic session, it's really good that you have a very, I think it's really appropriate table topics, because you just create the table topics like similar to the theme of the meeting, as this is the first meeting in this Founders Toastmasters. So every table topics you create is first, like first speech, first teacher, and first meeting. So I feel like it's really easy to remember and also appropriate table topics for most of the speakers, especially if it's the first time they join. So thank you, Julie. Thank you for sharing your passion to us. And for the first speaker, Cohen, you're very experienced speakers, and I really like your style. Like whenever you try to like incorporate different storylines, and also you're very fluent in deliver speech, and also you try to like well use your vocal variety that make us to feel your power in your speech. And it's always so impressive to listen to your speech. One thing I would like to remind you is that because you're very gentle, like you're a gentleman, so whenever you speak, you just like smiling. And whenever this is a painful experience, not my first time that saw you like keep smiling when you deliver speech. So just try to resonate your like facial expression with your speech content so that people can really feel like what is your exact feeling like whenever you go through this kind of like first speech experience or other things, so people can really resonate to your feeling. So for our second speakers, Choco, thank you so much. It's really nice for you to just show us that your personal experience with your inspiring teacher that throughout your study and throughout your life, and maybe she changed you a lot. So I think it's really grateful for all the audience to hear that. And because all of us have our teachers, like we must have encountered like meet with different kind of mentor teachers in our life, so we can resonate to your personal story. But I believe that the audience like me, we would like to know more about the details, like how your teacher really inspire you in different circle. Like maybe you can give us some stories and give us some details on it so that we can know more about this and make good use of your time, because I see that you still have some more time to go. So I really look forward to your next speech, and I think you can do more and you will be a very good speaker as well. So for our last speaker is Shireen. So your topic is first meeting. Oh, it's really good that I think you're very good storyteller. So you start with the story, your experience, and very fluent to speak it out, and we can really follow your story, your personal experience, step by step. And it's really good because as a public speaker, it's a really good technique because you need to let your audience know like what exactly you're talking about, right? So this is the talents that you got. And you also you incorporate the message like there's nothing to lose. Such a powerful message that I think you're definitely inherently a talent speaker that you need to keep moving on in public speaking as well. So bear in mind this. Maybe I think one suggestion I would give you, maybe you can really like do more elaboration, because even though you showed us that like you have the meeting with some people, but what is your message? What you really get from the whole process? Like you say that you're young and you can get something, but just try to make its message to be strong throughout the speech. Maybe you can start in the beginning or start in the end. So I really look forward to hearing your speech as well. And thank you so much. And just back to our TME.
Thank you, Abby, for being here today and helping us start our journey. Now, gentlemen, Toastmasters, we have our charter member, grammarian Deepa, to give her report for the meeting. Over to you, Deepa.
Thank you. Thank you, Bharat. Where do I start? It's been really wonderful listening to everybody. And as for the usage of word of the day, the first person to use the word of the day today was perspective. And the first person to use it was Julie, who is a very seasoned, very calm, and very kind, if I may say, Toastmaster. I'm very, very impressed. And now I was paying very close attention to Cohen's speech, but I was so taken up with his narrative, I don't quite remember whether he used the word perspective. I have to ask you that maybe separately, Cohen. Then the next person was Choco. I don't think she used the word. Eddie didn't use the word. And then Chi used the word. I think he used it 3 or 4 times. I marked 3. I'm not sure whether he used it. Bharat, of course, was using the word perspective, which is slightly different from the word perspective. But that's okay. We all have to try. And Bharat gets full marks for that. And overall, when it comes to English usage, there were so many little things that were off. But I think what really matters is that everybody speaks and everybody is very confident. And I think somehow when it comes to that, being a very nitpicky kind of grammarian is not really the kind of grammarian I want to be. I'm not sure whether it goes with the Toastmaster rules, but then, hey, rules are meant to be broken. So I think I can see the amber light flashing. And was there anybody else? Have I left out anybody else? I think it was only Julie and Chi who used the word perspective, and of course maybe Cohen, but I can't remember, to kind of repeat myself. Thank you. Now over to you, Bharat.
Everyone is taking me back to my childhood. I would like to be that kind of grammarian. So let's learn one by one and grow together. And moving on to the next report of the day for the meeting, Timer's report. Our first time role taker, Matthew Chen. High five, Matthew.
Yeah, thank you all Toastmaster member. So this is the first time I'll be in the role of a timer. So if I have making any mistake, please correct me, because I didn't know how to timing under a master, when they're talking to lead to another people. So correct me if I'm making some mistake. I'll try to learn from you. So over to you.
Thank you, Matthew. The important is to have the courage to come up. We understand for us also it was very difficult. And when we started, now it looks so easy. And for you, it will also be easy as you move on in your journey.
Matthew, do you have Rupinder's and Eddie's time for their speech, please?
Okay.
Do you have, Matthew? All right. Thank you.
Okay. So you were also timing, no? Anyway, we can see on the recording report, we can see that. We will see that and let it know. So moving forward, so we're almost at the end of the meeting. Let me once again welcome our District 89 Director. He is the founder of Youth Guardian Foundation and obtained government funding to organize a lot of youth activities. Wilson Yao has been very, very active in the district before he was the district director and today also. This new tool which he has created for us to create websites just by the flick of the go, and also create the agendas and live votings, which has been helping us to do the meeting more smoothly. He is here today to help us in our journey, our first steps, to guide us and give us a feedback how we can improve. Over to you, Wilson, with a big high five. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bharat. So once again, I want to say the first word about congratulations to all of you. Why? Why before my speech said congratulations? Because I just want to congratulate all of you that you have a chance to know about Toastmaster. You can learn more about Founder Toastmasters Club, a brand new club that's very, very good. So what's my role today is our general evaluator. So I will have to evaluate all those who have evaluated and give some suggestion. So before that, I just want to share something very important with you. So Toastmaster, I have been a Toastmaster for 10 years already. It changed my life. Why? Because For my old previous 20 years, my mom only taught me how to spot all the mistakes. How should we point to the other? You're doing badly, you're doing wrong, you're not good at all. You see, the labor is much better than you. But I never know that I still have some good spot. But in Toastmaster, here we know that we have positive evaluation, and then we know that it's a safe place to learn. So that's why, even though today we have a lot of first timer, so we can learn through the evaluation, and we still have some positive and shining points and how we can improve. So that's why I hope that today you have eye wide shut so that you know more about Toastmaster and then know that it's an excellent platform for you to improve and to learn as well. So let's start with our president, Eddie. Eddie, I think today you have done a very good job. You are very powerful, you're energetic. So the first time I come in, wow, and cheerful and energetic president, that's the key. And he shared his story, and today he even made his speech as well. I really appreciate that. So I think you help us to one point you did really, really well is that about the international, how international is this meeting? Because for Toastmaster, previously when I joined, I just meet a lot of Hong Kongers. So all I know is, okay, we only have friends in Hong Kong, but in Toastmasters International, we can meet friends from lots of countries. And especially today, I just want to let everyone know in this meeting, we have champions, right? So we have just a fresh champion, Chi, and also our champions from India as well. I'm not sure where I'm from, Rupinder, right? So they are the champions, they came here. So just to let you know, previously, if I want to see the champion speech, I need to pay for the contest fee so that I can just be there to the venue and then learn. And today, without any charges for the guests, we can enjoy. So that's amazing. So President, well done. So just one minor point for you to consider is that maybe you can also tell us, hey, seems like it's really good today. How can I join Founder Toastmaster, right? So who should I approach? Is that finding you or finding our handsome Bharat or Cohen, right? So who should I approach? I'm sure that at the final remarks you will share with us. Our applause for our President Eddie. Well done. And the second one is definitely our Toastmaster, Bharat. Bharat did a very good job today. You see he's very powerful with good speech. And yeah, I totally agree with him. Yeah, if sometimes or we have some demo meeting, we should find him to be our Toastmaster because he's energetic. He can make up the whole atmosphere. So I just want to say why do praise him, because you can see that for all the speakers, he can link up all together. And besides, there are lots of hard work behind. So what you can see is only, okay, just 1 hour, 2 hours meeting, right? But at the back, he did a lot of communication, coordination with presidents as well, and also preparing the agenda, a lot of stuff. He even learned, try to use new systems, Skynet, to prepare the agenda. There are a lot of hard work. May I have round of applause for Bharat for his hard work and also the great performance today. Thank you for that. Next, we have our evaluators. So today we are so glad that we have a lot of wonderful and amazing evaluators. They did really, really great. So Prasad, right? I'm not sure whether I pronounced correctly. Just correct me if I'm wrong. So he's the first evaluator for our President Eddie. He did a very good job here because he just lead by example. He just stand up and then he showed that, okay, this is the way how you should talk. And then he's very observant, very good suggestions. So definitely, I believe that he's a champion of evaluation. It's very good suggestion, and then that's really perfect. I'm sure that you see, Eddie is looking at. Yeah. He also agree. Yep. He really did a very good job. So just one minor point for him because he is quite. He also comments about the angle and also about the use. So we should stand up. I totally agree. Just one minor point because he just like looking, just stand up, but with the computer, he didn't turn, right? So if you just stand up, the angle it will just you need to change it a bit. Most probably you may change the computer. Like if you stand up, you need to change it again as well. Then people can see your handsome face. Otherwise, it will be look like that. You see, I'm fat, so that's why you may see it look worse. So just this very minor suggestion for you. Otherwise, it's perfect. We are round for the first evaluator. Thank you. Second is the chief for our champion speaker, Rupinder. I think she almost agree because he's very observant, and even President mentioned already, he did a very good suggestion, and then he's very observant. A lot of very good points, even though we may not. And one thing I must appreciate is about he used the dialogue very, very well. So that's the beauty of Toastmaster. So at home, my mom just said, you should do better. You should get 100 marks. But I always have a question. So how can I get 100 marks? So she did it. So he used dialogue, he demoed it, and then how should we use the dialogue? So that's really amazing. So thanks Chi for that. So I also agree the points about Chi mentioning about that's my story, the last which treated a bit. That's really very good. I also love it. And I also love the part with the extra one because this is a special one. This is the help Rupinder for the champion speech. So that's why we have a 4E version by Cohen. That's also very well done. So I just want to let you know that in Toastmaster, how do we learn? We are learning by evaluations. We have a lot of helpful people, a lot of helpful members. We will just turn on our mic, give our suggestions. So if you want to improve, don't worry, come to Toastmaster. You will find that everyone will just turn on their mic and help you. So if you want some friends, positive and help you, found a Toastmaster is definitely the best choice. Thank you, Chi, and thank you, Cohen. Amy, our table topic is evaluation. So I also want to praise her as well. Why? Because she just speaks like smiling. She mentioned about the other speakers smiling, right? But she's also the same. So it's a pleasant for me to see her speaking because she looks great and then she gave us positive energy as well. I totally agree with all her points, and then that's really amazing. She gives good suggestions. So I just share with you how should we praise her evaluation. Usually she will point out some really good points. So in Toastmaster in evaluation, we will use a sandwich approach. So how we do that is that we will point out some good points. And then in the middle, there will be some meat. Some point maybe you can consider. And the last part is that we encourage it. Why? In Toastmaster, we are not paid, right? So how can I encourage you? You should try again and come again as well. So that's why you use a sandwich approach. Some praise about what the points you did well. In the middle, some meat, what we can improve. And lastly, encourage you, motivate you to come again and try again. So Amy, well done on the sandwich approach and also to motivate all the speakers, especially two of them are lots guests only. So I hope that they can be the member and then they will be speak this time with your suggestion. Thank you, Amy. Lastly, we have two important rules today. The first one will be grammarian deeper. So deeper, I just want to say that I also did mention about perspective. So after your speech, I have the transition mentioning that for the language perspective, you need to be careful because she's a grammarian. So for that one, never mind. But I will have suggestion for you is that maybe for the word of the day is not that important because word of the day just encourage us. Maybe it can be a game. For example, you can say, hey, everyone please type who will be the one, who was the one, please be observant. Who was the one who used the most perspective today? Then you can just argue the type and then you just announce the answer. Then you can spend more time to be a better grammarian by mentioning about the great points. Today we have champion speech, they did very well. But sometimes 7 minutes is really fast. If someone can help me to recap how he used the language, how he mastered the language, so which style, and then anything he did really well, what should I learn? If someone can remind me to grammarian, then it will be great. And apart from that, you can also spot some suggestions because it seems like you are the native speaker. So just like me, my speaker is more with Hong Kong accent, right? How can I improve? If as a grammarian, you can help us to spot out more improvement points, that'd be great. So all in all, Deepa, well done. Thank you. Lastly, our time. Matthew is the first timer to try. Very well done. Thanks for that. Thank you, Matthew. So I just talked with him during the table topics session, and then I noticed that because he just followed the agenda, he expected that for the whole table topics should be for 15 minutes. That's why he didn't count for the individual speaker. But I see one point, Julie did very, very good. I want to praise her because when she see that sometimes the timer is not functioning well, she will just stop there and then help. Hey, Matthew, you should just time the individual speaker 1 minute with green card. So she will also have chance to talk with him. So just like now, what I should do is that I will have the green card turn on and then for 1 minute. So when 1 minute, I will just turn green. And then with 1.5 minutes in table topics, then I will change to yellow. I will continue to keep it here. And lastly is red. So after the speech, I will just remove it, or I will go back, or I will just change back to my background. Yeah. So that's the way how we do it. So in Toastmaster, there's no failure. We only have feedback. So I hope that is the first time, but you will try again next time, because at our workplace, you will never have chance to do it again. But in Toastmaster, oh, I see, I have some points I need to improve. What should we do? Join again and improve next time. So I hope that today everyone will enjoy Founder Toastmasters Club second meeting, and I hope that in our third meeting we will see you here again. You will see our better performance by all our facilitators and also our champion speaker. And last but not least, I hope the best luck to our champions, Chi and Rupinder as well. So I hope that Rupinder as well. I hope that they can continue their winning experience in district level. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, DTM Wilson. Such a detailed report and such motivating report. Thank you so much. We are running over time today. First steps, our first mistake, but don't worry, we'll stand up without complaining. Before I pass the stage back to our president for our closing remarks, let me thank all of you, especially Jim, for getting Rupinder to speak in our club. Julie, just 1 second, you said, okay, that is the support we look for from experienced Toastmaster. We are ever grateful to you. Prashad, I don't know what to say. Within 3 seconds, you said, okay, I'm there. Wilson, he said, okay, I know Wilson is handling 137 clubs, and 1 minute he says, I am there. Suho is in Korea right now. He's a student, and thank you so much. All these certificates I was supposed to give to our president to pass to you, but we'll send you by email. With this, thank you, and do excuse me for all my enthusiasm, which will keep on going, and keep breathing, keep calm, and take your next step. Over to you, President Eddie.
Thank you, Bharat. Thank you so much. You know, you're so energetic. I don't know if I could follow that, but thank you so much. You know, I just want to say, right, I'm going to keep this very, very short. You know, thank you so much for showing up, for all the guests, right? So if you are interested to join us, please contact us on LinkedIn, contact us on Bharat, contact us on Facebook. We made ourselves available to be contacted everywhere. So, you know, for you to sign up, you already know who we are. So contact us anyway, and we also have your email. So we would definitely follow up and contact you to see your interest to join us, because we want to charter our club and we want to make a success to Founders Toastmaster. You know, so, you know, I don't think I have to say anything else, right? Because, you know, everybody does such a good job, you know, Rupinder, Chia, you know, Wilson, right? You guys are so energetic. You guys are so experienced. So I don't think I need to say anything else. You guys done such a good job. So I think we're gonna, you know, close the meeting. And if it's okay with everybody, thank you so much. Bharat, you know, if we could, can we take a picture, you know, so that we have a picture of all the members or all the guests in the meeting? So at least we have it documented. Toastmaster.
Okay, I can take a photo. Okay, ready? Okay, switch on your videos, cameras now. And yes, smile, big smile. big smile. And ready? 1, 2, and 3. Done. Thank you.
Thank you, Cohen. Thank you so much for that. So I think we are done today. You know, so we would definitely be in contact with you. For definitely all the guests, we will be in contact with you to see your interest level. And I think me, Bharat, or Cohen will contact you directly so that we can kind of have some understanding of your interest level, so we could charter a club. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. It's very exciting to be part of this club. Thank you. Back to you, Bharat.
We will have 7 minutes. There are two guests here, Thang Chun and Choi Chan. There are some others who have not been able to make it today because of the COVID jab, especially our charter member Neeris, she could not come. So any suggestions, anyone? It's open house. Whoever wants to leave, the meeting is closed by the president, but we can have a 5-7 minutes general chit chat. Rupinder ji, any feedback for us?
I am kind of overwhelmed right now because I've been to meetings where I just get evaluated and they share the recording with me and that's it. And we promise to keep in touch, but I was not expecting such an elaborate arrangement that everybody is, giving me feedback. So thank you so very much for that. Chi, all the best for your upcoming contest. As a person who's been to the international level, I will tell you only one thing. I'm pretty sure you said it as a joke that as a contestant, I would terrify you. But if it is not a joke, then the one thing that I learned is never to be terrified of anyone. Because one of two things is going to happen, like I said. Either you'll write a success story or you'll tell yourself this is not that story. I'm kidding. What is going to happen is that somebody will give a better speech than us and they deserve our congratulations. Otherwise, we just go on stage, do our very best. Forget about winning. Just enjoy your time on stage and you will see the magic come alive. That is what carried me through. Shaurendra is sitting here. He was my roommate at the time when I won my district contest. He told me the same thing. He said, today just go and enjoy yourself on the stage. And I did just that. I actually broke my leg. So this is actually a real story. This happened with me. Just go enjoy yourself on stage because who knows when is the next time you'll get a chance to deliver the speech of a lifetime to 300 to 500 other people. When you get that opportunity, have fun. As simple as that.
Thank you, Rupinder ji. I am having fun. I'm really having fun all the time. I was with you in the morning today in your club. We're talking about cricket and Shaurendra ji, our Ranji cricket player and our experienced Toastmaster here. You had a lovely theme in the morning. Something from you, Shaurendra ji.
I really enjoyed things, but I must tell you that we as a Toastmaster fraternity, we have to work on some of the areas, and I would love to be a part of helping people out. Especially, we have to look at the R-counter, timer, and the grammarian because their feedback is very important for us to meet the criteria which we are all going out to. Like the use of certain words as fillers. R-counter must pull them out. The time taken must be told to the people because the timer must time the people actually because we are all planning to work within a limit which Toastmasters sets us into. So a prepared speech has to be within 7 minutes. How have I achieved that? How well have I done that? I must know so that I can improve next time. Likewise, for the grammarian, the good usage of the English language can also be informed.
We lost
speakers.
you.
Only then shall we. Sorry, I said
We're
only
losing
then.
you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I was saying that when I was finishing off, I was just saying that the good usage and the improvements required in the English language must also be incorporated in the grammarian's report. This is what I felt and I wanted to just share with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much. Chi, your journal, you are a president of a club. You run clubs. So your feedback, please.
Sorry, I had to step away. So we're feeding back on today's event.
Yes.
Is that the question? Oh yeah, I think the objective of what this club's about makes sense because it's having a group of entrepreneurs get together to really learn off each other is certainly going to serve the entrepreneurs here and hopefully serve your serve your staff and your partners along the way, because I think we can all appreciate running a business. It's not easy, and communication is, especially for someone at the helm of it, having good communication skills could make or break your business. So for me, I'm just a little sharing. I failed a couple of businesses in the past, so I'm looking forward to learn from these entrepreneurs on this.
So you will also be a part of the founders charter members, huh?
Yeah. So running businesses is close to my heart, but I just haven't been successful yet.
So anyone
Still have to grind in my day job. Still have to grind.
Yes. Anyone who wants to join us as a charter member and a club sponsor and club mentor, do reach out to me. And before we end, we have Julie. We want to her feedback, and we want the youngest member of the team, Shoho here, his feedback. And of course, we can never forget Jim. And last would be Cohen before we ask Matthew also. So one by one, all the four, please.
Right. I'm going to make this very brief. I learned a lot from tonight's meeting. It's full of energy, and congratulations to the organizers. I would say some of the important roles, like the grammarian, the accounter, and the timer, for people who are doing this for the first time, it could really be challenging. I didn't like to be a timer when I was starting. So Matthew, great job for doing it for the first time. My suggestion for the organizers, so specifically the timer is a very important role in a meeting. You are almost the commander-in-chief, but not, because you can tell the Toastmaster, stop that, move to the next, we're running out of time or more. So my suggestion to the organizers, but we don't want also to compromise learning for first timers. So my suggestion is, how about you do a co-timer so that both of them learn hand in hand. The first timer learns from an experienced one, and the experienced one will share the experience to the new one as well as to the club, so that we don't compromise running over time, and we give everybody due time that they are allotted. That's one. And last but not the least, probably one of the things that our experienced Toastmasters here can do is try to stick to their time. It is good to have transition, but if the transition is almost like a speech, then it's not helping in controlling the time. That's all. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Julie. We had a timer too today, but seeing the passion of Matthew, who has been trying to learn it from yesterday, we did not have the courage to bring the second timer on the stage. Suho was supposed to be our timer too. He's on the agenda as timer too, but we cut it on the last minute because Matthew has been trying so hard, and we wanted to support him. And I'm sure next time Matthew will make sure that this thing happens.
Triple A for effort, Matthew.
Yes, big round of applause for Matthew. Okay, and then again, Suho, the youngest Toastmaster here. Fresh, young look from you. Any suggestions for us?
No, it was really great to listen to the professionals Toastmasters Club, and I think I've learned a lot from as to how we can further improve our club, because we are from a university and we're relatively very young and we sometimes lack experience. I think this was a great opportunity for us to learn as to how to operate our club and daily meetings.
Jim? I think Jim is not there now.
Jim had to drop off because it's quite late in Australia.
Yeah, so yes, Thang Chun, are you there? Can you speak something? Okay, so I think not there. Cohen, stage is yours, please.
Well, thank you very much. It shows that, starting a new business and starting a new clubs are totally the same. There are lots of teething issues that we have to work on. communication between members, and members really have to step up to volunteer their time to take up a meeting role. Because right now, Bharat and myself, we are taking we're doing a lot of background work. But it's okay. We will press on. Thank you all the guests for coming. Chief for coming, Surindra, thank you Suho once again, Wilson, our district director, Rupinder. Rupinder, actually, if you go around like giving your speech, like the next time you go around to another club, I would love to attend if the time allows. That'll be great to follow you around. So it's like then
I'll share it with Jim. Jim can share it with you. So
sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You can share it with me also. You can share it with me also, Rupinder.
We'll do that.
Rupinder, you can start a fans club which can follow you all across.
You could do like a podcasting, like this is how to win the world championship. Rupinder, one of the speakers that I truly, truly respect, and he was the one who like changed my life, and well, I wouldn't say changed my life, but got me stuck in Toastmasters for the last 16 years, was Jim Key, the 2003 champion. His speech, it's never too late. You know what? That guy made me cry right there on the spot. He made me cry right on the spot. His speech, very simple, but it just touched my heart so much. And he tried 3 times to reach the world championship. So that everyone's journey is different. But if Jim Key can put in this effort to try 3 times, I think the journey is worth it. That's what I think. Okay, thank you. For us, our members, we'll go through before our next meeting on the 28th. There's lots of coordination to do. So we will, be in touch on WhatsApp. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Good night. And thank you once again, everyone. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
See you again soon somewhere.
Bye-bye.
Good luck, Chi.
Thank